Hi again then guys, and so we've got another GranTurismo 6 top speed tune for you today, and this time it's for the Castrol Mugen NSX, and as with most of these JGTC tunes, this is indeed a teaser for today's Tour of Japan review episode. So, you want your racing soft tyres of course. For suspension we've got the ride height on 60 front and rear, springs to 1350 and 1925, dampers to 4, anti-rolls slightly higher on the NSXs because they are a little bit more twitchy than some, camber on 3, neutral toe as always. For the gearbox we've got an auto setting of 230, then we've rounded off the individual gears to 3475, 2275, 1625, 1250, 1000 and 800 with a final drive of 3.7. For the diff, low initial torque of course, high acceleration and low braking. You want your high RPM turbo and your downforce of course set to the minimum. Traction control is turned off obviously, and so this is a slightly less powerful model of the JGTC NSX range. It's got considerably less power than many of the newer models, which tend to have around the high 800 to the low 900 region in terms of power, whereas this is just below the mid-region of 800. So significantly less horsepower, but it is of course a much older generation model. It's from the year 2000, and most of the older JGTC cars do tend to have a little bit less power. As a result of that, the top speed is a little bit lower. Likewise with the lower powered Supras, for instance, they do have a lower top speed. This one is one of the slowest JGTC cars in terms of top speed, to be completely honest. As much as I like the car, and I do actually like this model, it sounds a bit different to some of the other NSXs, and I think the paint job on it, or the livery I should say, it's pretty cool as well. It kind of reminds me actually of Jaguar racing colours rather than Honda, but it's a pretty nice car overall. It has a simpler aerodynamic appearance. There's no little winglets on the front bumper, which makes it look a little bit different to some of the other older generation NSXs like the Mobile 1. But overall, I don't want to get into it too much because obviously it will be featured in the review later on today. But as far as performance on this model, it has a cruising speed of about 222, so it's a little bit slower than some. But let's face it, there's not many tracks the way you actually use that kind of speed anyway on these cars. So this tune is just for people who happen to need that kind of speed, say on La Safe, or if you're racing these cars on Special Stage Route 7 for instance. As far as draft potential, you do have more than on some of these JGTC tunes, around 800 or 900 RPM. So you should be able to slipstream this up to quite easily 240, maybe even 250. Not much more than that though, so if you do need it to do more than that in draft, which it can do, it's certainly got the power for draft potential, then obviously just extend your final drive a little bit lower. But overall it's a pretty nice car. Like I said, I don't want to get into too much detail about it because there'll be no point in making a review series for it later on today, or a review episode I should say. But overall it's a perfectly decent JGTC model, slightly different to some of the others, and yeah, that's about it really. So if you decide to use this tune, obviously I hope you find it helpful and of course competitive. If you're new to the channel or just found this helpful in general, feel free to subscribe. I put out new top speed tunes like this every day, various other tunes and other videos in the week. And as always, thanks for watching.